Alright, my name is Segun Arinze. Now you met me. I started way back in the 80s. I started out quite early. I remember it was about 80, 81 was when I started out, and I was doing songs and poems and drama on NTA Lorry. Then, because we were in Kwara State, my father was in Lorry with us, and he was a bit nomadic because he was always moving here and there because of the nature of his job. Not that he was in the military or anything, but because he was a contractor and he likes to move around with his family. And so we found ourselves in Lorry, and then I started out singing, acting, a little bit of acting, and of course reading poems. And then one day I ran into a guy who became my friend, Ayo Ruwale, and he said he liked my spoken English and he liked the texture of my voice, and he felt I'm a great actor because he actually went to Madagascar University of Ibadan. And so we said we should give it a try, and we did Kensara Rewind Transistor Radio, and I never looked back from then onwards. And then there was Randy Ojuolakwe, who was with the Art Council, Kwara State Council Arts and Culture, and then of course Abdul Trodola, the man who actually put me on television in T9 then. And so it's been like that. I was in secondary school at that time, and so when I finished secondary school, I knew I was going to do theatre arts. And along the line, when I came back to Lagos, I met the late Basi Effiong joined the Nansa Playhouse, of course. And Nansa Playhouse was the biggest thing then because we were always doing stage then. Movie was something that was kept in the exclusive preserve of the likes of Ade Love, Baba Salah, Iberagunde, and so we had to settle for the Chinese and Indian films. So doing the Nigerian films was quite tedious then. Well, just a few of the producers then, Eddie Oboma and Ola Balogun and the late Francis Oladilo. So it was quite rough and tough at that time. So all found out I was doing more of stage. And the National Theatre had something called the Open Theatre, and so Anansa Playhouse was there. And that was a platform that I joined us at that time. And we were doing so many plays. We had the likes of RMD, the late Funsho Alabi, Sam Loco, Ralph Ono, quite a number of them who were in Anansa, Mike Odiachi, and also Nemute, even Dede Babiako also did a few appearances there and then, and Austin Mbanefo, quite a number of us were doing stage then. And then we were doing the Mary Banansewa one night, and then I met Bayo Dune, who came to see the play, and that was my sojourn to go to University of Ife to learn with the Maligat, and the rest is history. Here we are. When we actually in Ilorin, when we learned, I was in Victory College of Commerce, CDD. In Ilorin, when I was singing on TV and acting. I was kept on nudging me and Randy Ojuolakwe. So for me, at that time, I knew it had to be. Though my dad was just pushing, you have to be a lawyer, So one night I was sleeping. It was about 11:30. NT Ilorin were doing a promo just before they shut down for the night. And they were showing me I was singing Leo Sayers, I was miming Leo Sayers, When I Need You. And he just woke me up, come and see yourself. And that was that. After that, he was like, well, I don't mind you, but you need to go to school. I said, of course, I will go to school. And then in school, I was some sort of cult figure. Because my teachers, my schoolmates, all of them were like, wow. And they liked what I was doing on TV. And then my literature teacher would have me read literature in class, during literature class. And he was also conducting the Bible class, so I also would read the Bible verses while we were doing religious knowledge. And so now I knew there and then that it had to be. It was an innate thing that I knew that I had to do, because my father was singing, though he didn't exploit it. He was more of a civil and structural engineer, but I decided to exploit it, and well, there we are. I don't have any regret. If I have to choose in my other life what to be again, I'll come back as an entertainer still. Every movie comes with its own challenge. Every movie has its own challenge. It's how you do it, how do you perceive yourself, and how do you want people to perceive you in each movie. Remember that saying, "You're as good as your last movie." So let me not use the summer because we don't have summer here, but when the long hauls in between, it was still rainy season, getting ready for Hamilton, and well, that's what the whites, Europe and America would call summer. A friend of mine walked up to me where we had done reports, we had done fortunes, we had done mega fortunes, we had done quite a number of things, and he came to me. He directed part of Fortunes, was also doing the lighting and all that, and every Friday he was always editing Fortunes and all that. And then it was time for him to do something, so he decided he was going to shoot a movie. And so a friend of mine came to me, his name is Chico Jiro, and said, he has this role, and I think I want you to play it. And I said, well, let me read the script. He said, yeah, he would send the script to me. Well, he narrated the story. I said, do I mind shaving my hair? I said, no, I'm not adverse to shaving my hair. I'll shave my hair if need be. I'm a professional. And he said, okay. So he sent the script. It was written by Ken Oganajabo, and it's called Silent Night. And interesting, Ramsey Noah was the leader in the movie, and Kate Henshaw was my sister in the movie. And Emeka was also in this whole side to shoot. The story was about a gang of guys, a boy who went to join a gang, and the father was a judge, and the judge had to sentence him to death after they accidentally killed his own brother in the robbery incident. So we shot, and they did the arrest and all that, and they were going to line everybody up and do a firing squad thing. And I said to Chico, why do you want to kill this character? Why don't you let this character escape and come back for vengeance before you do any other thing with the character? He stopped and thought about it. So he looked at me and said, that's true. Okay, you stay out of it. Let's do the other bit. And so we went ahead and did it. And we shot Silent Night. I asked them, we didn't even realize the impact of what we're doing. So we shot Silent Night. And then he needed to do a sequel. And so he did Silent Night Black Arrow. And so it was clicked. And Black Arrow stuck to my name ever since. It's been so memorable that even children of today, that are born yesterday, they get to see me as Black Arrow because people relate to them and tell them, hey, there was this movie he did that's called Silent Night that he played Black Arrow, so everybody calls me Black Arrow. Interestingly, I went to a police station one day in the state command actually, and I was going to sort out something, and the security guard, all the police guys came out, were so ecstatic to see me, and one of them just went, you know the part of you I liked in that movie where you came to the police station and dropped your gun and said, I'm Black Arrow, and all the policemen around the world. I said, my God. I said, my God, wow. Well, Silent Night turned out to be Silent Night 1, 2, and 3. 3 wasn't that much of a success, but 1 and 2 was a mega monster success, and ever since that, we haven't looked back. So, thereafter, I went on to do Blind Trust, I went on to do Ashes to Ashes, went on to do The Return, which got me Best Actor for the year. Silent Night also got me Supporting Actor, Battle of Love. All the movies I've done actually have been very challenging, but I still would love to hold Silent Night to my chest. Nollywood of yesterday had gusto, had courage, had people who were committed, had people who knew that they wanted to do something, people who were dogged fighters, people who were unrelenting, people who would sit down and write the story, and there wasn't that rush because we knew just how to get it right. Fast forward to Nollywood of today. Social media has taken over, equipment has taken over, technology, let me use the word technology, has taken over. A lot of things have changed over a period of time. And so we find ourselves in that mood, that advancement mode, and we need to keep abreast with everything that goes on technologically and otherwise. The talents of today, yeah, there are talents of today, but I think they also need to be grounded. They also need to calm down and be grounded. We have fantastic talents, I tell you. The only but that I have in it is most of the females right now like to the diva thing, and I don't think that's right. Yes, yeah, I don't mind you doing your diva thing, but I want to see you do work. I want to see you do that work. And you need to have that spunk. You need to be grounded. You need to have an understanding of what you're doing. And I also would like to see the actresses work and let people see them for the talent and not for the physical attributes. For the guys, not much sort of a macho or good looks. Same applies to what applies to the female also applies to the guys. Want to see you work hard at your art. You must improve at every turn, at every film. Remember, every movie you do, you're as good as your last movie. So we need to step that up. Then in terms of orientation, we need to continue workshops, seminars, festivals. What are the latest equipment? What are the latest technology making films? We need to keep abreast of everything. But the worst mistake we can make is trying to compare ourselves with other film industries. Nollywood is Nollywood, Hollywood is Hollywood, Bollywood is Bollywood. All have their own unique attributes, and I think we have our own in the sense that we have the stories. We tell our story in our own way. But while we're telling our story now, let's tell it in the way we should tell our stories. Shoot it the way we should. There's no need aping. You can't ape Hollywood or ape Bollywood. Like I said, it's like a diamond, three-prong shaped thing. We are who we are. We're Africans, we're Nigerians, first and foremost, so let's deal with ourselves and that. And let's not compare ourselves. We're not in competition with anybody. And good enough thing, everybody's looking this direction. Everybody's looking the way of Nigeria because we're the flagship. The Kenyans, the South Africans, the Ugandans, the Malawians, the Ghanaians. The Ghanaians copied from us. And look at where we are. We're still standing. We'll continue to stand. So we're making progress. What keeps the average Nollywood person going is the fact that he's dogged and never gives up. He never ever gives up. If you give you the opportunity to move with 1 million or 500,000, you go begging everybody. Look, Sheku, come and do this for me. Tony, come and do it. RMD, I don't have money, come and do it. They will beg you and they will actualize that dream. So it's just that doggedness, the Nigerian spirit, the true Nigerian spirit. That's what Nollywood's all about. It's an industry that was built with sweat, blood, energy, strength, anything you can think about that was put in outside being diabolical. I think it's a true Nigerian spirit and that doggedness, and that's what's kept Nollywood going. It's big, very, very big, very big. But I would not say bigger than Hollywood because before you get to there, they'll be ahead of you. They're about 100 plus years now. So, but we'll take it in our stride and we'll get there. But I know that we'll be at that level of international. We're playing at the international level where everybody will be coming here, becomes a hub. So far, so good. We're growing. But what I would like to see Nollywood have now is a structure. What we have right now is like Nollywood just by name. Most people come from outside the country. Where's Nollywood? I mean, I was in the US. I went to California, Los Angeles, went to Beverly Hills. Even went to an industrialized area. They see this is Hollywood. So we need to have something like that. That's a hub. Has the shopping malls, the cinemas, the schools, the police stations, the hospitals, and all that. We need to have something like that. Something like that was being created before in Cross River State, Tinapa. Unfortunately, it became a white telephone project, and that was the end of it. It's more moribund now, except for Ebony Life that's giving it that life over there. I'd like to see a structure. Let's begin to institutionalize what we have and not just mouthing it towards Nollywood. Nollywood is in Nigeria. Some people can say, where can we find Nollywood? You begin to say, okay, come to Sulu, let me find where they're shooting. And you begin to go around. We're so scattered, but we need to be structured. We need to have a base where you find everything. I'm not saying we cannot shoot around the country, we can't shoot around the world, but we need to have a base that when you come, you say the whole of Adeniro, Gusoya into Gulano, into Bode Thomas or whatever it is Nollywood, and you find all the shops, all the malls, all the things you can find them. So more of infrastructure.